This is DMG, welcome to 70 System, and in the previous video we talked about the 7 pillars of role-playing, and that was interaction and role-playing itself. So this video is about acting and voice acting, and how you can use it in your game. If you're enjoying these videos, consider supporting me on Patreon, patreon.com/70system. If you want to receive notifications of these videos, click the bell next to the subscribe button. Should you use accents when you are playing a role-playing game? Now, there are many different schools of thought, and there are many different camps, and there are a lot of people who will shy away from it. So I'm just going to give you some idea of how you can actually process this into your game. Now, if you're not good at accents or you're not comfortable doing accents, there's a variety of tricks that you can use in order to alter the way that characters are perceived in the game. Whether this is your character that you're playing, or you are the director or the GM and you are playing an NPC. Rather than thinking about different accents, because not everyone can do accents, mine is such a mishmash of, it's Afro-Australasian that it's difficult to pin down. But some people may want to speak in a European English accent, or a French accent, or a German accent. Some people may want to speak in West African, North African, Sub-Saharan African. Some people may want to do various different dialects from South America. And of course, there's every single conceivable American accent from the US. So you can change the characterization of your characters in the game by selecting an accent to show that this character has some alternate personality to you personally, which allows you to shift in and out of the game as the character rather than the player. So when the player talks, they speak with their normal accent. When the character talks, they speak with their foreign accent. But as I said, not everyone is capable of doing accents, so I'm going to leave that where it is, and now we're going to talk about how to actually change the way you speak in order to enhance the characterization of your character. So one of the first things you can do is the speed at which you speak. You would just be speaking really, really quickly, and your character would not stop speaking because it has to keep speaking very, very quickly, and that would be just how the character happens to be. It talks to everyone this way. You haven't actually changed your accent, you are just speaking a lot faster. But whenever you're actually using this character, you just speak as quickly as you possibly can, and that's just a characterization of your character. Likewise, you can slow it right down, so your character speaks deliberately and slowly at every opportunity. You can then raise the pitch or lower the pitch of your voice. So you can talk this way, which is not an accent. I'm raising the voice up. Or I can lower the voice down. Either which way, this is easy for people to do, and everyone can do it. You don't want to put too much vocal stress on your throat, so you need to pick a way for you that is comfortable, because you may be speaking this way for 8 hours. There's a couple of simple ways with speed and with pitch to actually alter the way that you're speaking in order to change the way that your character sounds in the game. Other things you can do is the type of words that the character is actually using. So you may want to go to monosyllabic words, so it's words that just have one syllable in them. So no, talk, lot, too many, thing, in, speak, can't. You're limiting your vocabulary because your character cannot actually use multisyllabic words. Another thing is to completely skip certain letters. So you may want to completely skip P's or T's, or you may want to swap letters around. Classic example is R's and L's. There are a few languages where it's difficult to discern whether a person is saying an R or an L. And so that's one that can be emulated. Certain letters can have certain characteristics to them. For instance, in a South African Afrikaans accent, you roll the R's. So you vibrate your tongue every time you do an R. So you can begin to formulate how would you as the character speak. You can do hard time. Every time you do a T or a D, you can do a hard T or D. Again, this is not an accent, this is just a way of speaking. This sort of thing breathes life into your character and actually helps people to identify exactly when it is the character is talking, and can basically really shift the dynamic of the game and improve the character's role within the story. What you want to steer away from is things that are extremely irritating. So if it is something where you have a really shrill character who speaks loudly all the time and the rest of the players like, really, you don't need to shout and scream, stay away from that. But if everyone's fine with you being boisterous, perfectly fine. Another aspect to this is acting. So there are people who fancy themselves as actors, or they may actually be actors, who will be able to put on a performance as a character. One thing you want to steer away from is doing this for too long. Sometimes people get into the role and there's always the dramatic pause and the emotional content and all these sort of things. Be mindful of the amount of time that you're taking up, because other people want a turn. If you're going to take 5 minutes and the 5 other people are going to take 5 minutes, that's 25 minutes, for a round. We don't want that. Keep the acting short and to the point. Mannerisms are great. So talking with a twitch or hunch or a snivel, these things help bring the character to life. You should use them. They are fantastic, but don't overuse it. And make sure that it's an appropriate thing. And once again, if it's something that's extremely obnoxious and gets in the way, rather steer away from it. If you're a character who's always flailing around and hitting the person next to them, that's not conducive to great game playing. But little shifty mannerisms that the character may do, perfectly fine. Just lay off the soliloquies, will you? So in the next video we can talk about the 7 pillars of role-playing again, and that time it is combat. So I'll see you in that one. Like button.